What's going on, guys? Dropadooski here. Today we are going to talk about the Trag'oul's Corpse Lance build for solo Necromancer pushing in Diablo 3. Now, I heard about this build for the first time today, and it is very, very strong. As you can see in the background, I am just destroying yellow packs with this setup currently in a GR90. Now, none of my gear is augmented currently. I only have 2 pieces of ancient Trag'oul's gear, and I'll go over my gear in a moment. And it's still very, very strong. I did get a 95 down with this so far and could easily get 100 with a little bit of fishing. Big shout out to the stream today. They showed me this when we were doing some testing for Necromancer this afternoon. Going forward, I would be willing to bet that unless this is changed, this can easily outpush the Inarius setup currently dominating most of the leaderboards around all the regions. So let's jump into the gear and the abilities, and then I'll demonstrate a little bit of the gameplay because it is a little wonky. This build currently utilizes the 6-piece Trag'oul set, and as I was telling you before, I only have 2 ancient pieces thus far. You have a high prioritization on cooldown, so wherever you can get it, the ideal gloves here would be cooldown, crit, crit. You would also want cooldown Corpse Lance damage on these shoulders, and then cooldown on your rings with crit, crit, if you can get that possibly. This build, along with pretty much all the other Necromancer solo builds currently, are using the Dainty's binding for the damage reduction. It's a huge source of damage reduction for the Necromancer, with anything being cursed, reducing your damage up to 50%. The rings that I'm currently using are the Unity. I have a Unity on myself and then a Unity on my follower, and then the T-Pledge and Compass Rose. This ideally would have physical damage, and you would want physical damage on your bracers as well. The bracer slot is going to be Nemesis bracers with physical, int, vit, and crit as is standard for most bracers. Then the weapons. I'm using the Trag'oul's Carotid Fang for this build. This is not ideally rolled. You would want cooldown, attack speed, percent damage to get very high damage ratio with this weapon, but cooldown is a super high priority on this because you're only really doing damage in this build when you're in Land of the Dead and have Simulacrum up. So you want cooldown wherever you can get it. The offhand can kind of be whichever offhand you have that can roll the best stats. Currently, I've seen a lot of people utilizing the lost time with Corpse Lance damage, crit hit chance, and cooldown. Mine currently does not have Corpse Lance damage, but it does have crit hit chance and cooldown with Max Essence as well. You want Max Essence wherever you can get it, as you are using in the cube currently for this build. Your Relina's Shadow Hook, which increases your damage for every point of max essence you have by 0.5%, and combined with this that doubles your max essence, it's a humongous amount of damage when you have this buff up. So we're using the Relina's Shadow Hook, the Corpse Whisperer Pauldrons, which just increases the Corpse Lance damage massively. I mean, this is a huge damage increase. As you read here, Corpse Lance damage is increased by 30% for 3 seconds when you consume a corpse, max of 20 stacks. Every time you lance, it consumes a corpse. So, I mean, mega damage output from your Corpse Lance. And then Crispin's Sentence, which is pretty standard for most pushing Necromancer builds right now. It's super strong and gives you a giant damage buff. So now that we've gone over the gear, I'll jump into the skills here. Currently, you're using, so this thing, since this thing synergizes completely around cooldown, you're using Decrepify Borrowed Time, and I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of this gameplay because it is a little weird. You're basically an assassin with this build, so you're looking for yellow packs, non-illusionist blue packs you can kill pretty regularly. Anything that's either a pack or a high amount of density that is, you know, large time mobs like Lucini slashers or poppers or certain types of zombies. So be using Borrowed Time for the cooldown reduction. Corpse Lance, Blood Lance, since this is the blood set, you're pretty much using anything that costs health in order to benefit from the Trag'oul 6-piece set. Devour, Cannibalize. Now this is not the Devouring Aura, so you do have to manually cast this, but I've tried this with the Devouring Aura and the survivability is just not there. When you're pushing with this build, Cannibalize is much better, and when you go into, you know, Super Saiyan mode and start blowing things up with Corpse Lance, you just spam Devour and you are just continuously filling up your health, not having any problems surviving, and just dominating the map. Blood Rush, Molting, you're pretty much dodging around the entire time when you're not in damage form, so you're just jumping around and cursing and cursing and cursing so that you can keep that cooldown reduction up, and you want to be able to Blood Rush as often as possible. You also leave a corpse behind so you can consume that and kind of have a little more survivability as you're moving around, and you're also trying to gain your stacks right off the bat. I can demonstrate this real quick. This here, maximum life increased, this engorged, which is something that you get from the set here. And that's very important. So let me go back to the skills. Simulacrum, Reservoir. Now Reservoir is standard for any of the builds. There's another Rothma setup that utilizes Simulacrum that I will be putting a build guide together for. That increases the amount of essence you have by 100%, so it doubles your essence. So when that is combined with the Relina's Shadow Hook, you're getting mega damage for the short time that you have Simulacrum up. So you need this to synergize with that ability in the cube in order to get the numbers that we're seeing on the leaderboard, where people are getting 9 trillion hits, you know, with Corpse Lances. It's crazy damage. And then Land of the Dead, Frozen Lands, which enables you to basically cast corpse skills freely and just go ham when this is up. The passive skills are Spreading Malediction, which receives 1% damage bonus for each enemy afflicted by one of your curses. Since you're cursing everything all the time to keep your 20 stacks of borrowed time up, which shows here gain 1% cooldown reduction for every enemy cursed up to a maximum of 20%. So you're running around with an increased 20% cooldown reduction. You're basically getting 20% more damage, if not more, depending on how many things you have cursed. Overwhelming Essence, as this thing prioritizes max essence everywhere you can get it, you're going to take this passive. Blood is Power. After cumulatively losing 100% of your maximum life, all ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%. Once again, reducing the cooldown of these two abilities so that you can get into the form where you can really do some damage. And then Standalone, which just increases your survivability. When you're not using a pet build, Standalone is pretty standard. We also use that on the Inarius solo push build. The bone build that was doing super well on the leaderboards. Let me show you this real quick. Since this just came up today, I just heard about this today on stream, and so it's starting to trickle in. We still have a number 1 with the Inarius, but number 2 here, close behind, is this Trag'oul setup. There's also some variations you can have here on the legendary gems, and let me go over that quickly. Right now, as you can see, this guy is using Trapped Zeiss, because you do want to do this at distance when you're blowing up the yellow packs, and then Bane of the Powerful. If you don't think that you have the survivability, you can take Esoteric here, but I did both variations, and really, since the way that it's played, you're always moving and you're kind of never standing still to take damage. The Bane of the Powerful damage boost is much better to maintain throughout the grift if you can survive. Now, as I was saying, the play style is a little wonky, so I'm going to go in, find a yellow pack, and demonstrate to you exactly what I'm talking about in regards to how this build works, because this is an assassination build. You're looking for packs, you're looking for high density to blow that up as fast as you can, and then working your way back to getting this while you're finding your next set of packs or your pylon or so forth. So we'll just quickly jump into a 90 and hopefully not get disgustingly tame mobs, but we'll see. So you're just cursing and jumping as you go through, and you can consume a corpse as you go. That consumed corpse goes a long, long way. Now, Juggernaut is one yellow pack that you kind of want to avoid when you start pushing really, really high, because Chrisman's doesn't work correctly with Juggernaut, but when you're not pushing super high, you can still dominate a pack. So I'm about to go into my form, hit them both, spam, and consume corpses. As you can see, the yellow pack is immediately dead. And while you still have it up, just blow up everything else around it until it goes down. Pick up your orbs, start decrepifying to get your 20 stacks, which you see here of borrowed time. You want to keep that up all the time to get these 2 cooldowns to start coming back off, and just cruise. You know, you're just cruising, looking for packs, looking for good density that you feel like is worth stopping on when your cooldowns are there. So you kind of have to think about this while you're going through the grift. Is this a Juggernaut pack? Do I have a blue as shielding, or is the blue illusionist? There's a lot of things, because your window of opportunity to do the mega damage is very, very small. So a lot of times I'll continue looking for a yellow unless there's like a really juicy area where it's like, okay, there's 2 blues. Neither one of them are illusionist. There's not 6 of them, you know what I mean? Because this is targeted, right? So is he Juggernaut? We can take a look at him. I don't think he is. So we get set up. We have everything ready to go. Pop both and consume. And he's immediately dead. And if you see some of these numbers over here, they're huge, huge damage numbers. And you take the globes, do the same thing, and you don't really do damage when you're not in that form. So you kind of back again to survivability, keeping your cooldown stacks up, making sure that this stays maxed, you're engorged for survivability, and rinse and repeat. So when you're doing this build, let's see if I'm going to make it out. When you're doing this build, it's going to take a little practice. It took me 2 or 3 runs to kind of get the feel for it. A lot of times if I get pylons, and say for instance, just like you would with a conduit, but even if it's not a conduit, you're using Nemesis bracers, or at least I have been. And I know somebody was pushing a 109 in EU with Nemesis bracers on, so the ancient Parthenons you saw on the leaderboards are not required. They will help, of course, but they're not required. To get ready and set up your other yellow with whichever pylon it is that you're going to hit, because you're going to get 2 packs, and if they're not Juggernaut, you have plenty of time to blow up both of those yellow packs before your 2 major damage outputs go away. Once again, I want to do a big shout out to Stream today. They did bring this this build to my attention and did help me kind of in learning how to play it and the style. It's very, very fun. I like it a lot better than the Inarius because it feels like I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly doing things and kind of thinking through the grift a little more than just go in, hack and slash, jump out, jump out, jump out, kind of relying on Mirane the whole time. This does not synergize around Mirane, and it does much more damage. For all of you guys new to the channel, I do stream on Twitch Monday through Saturday. Feel free to stop by the Twitch channel anytime. It's twitch.tv/Dropadooski. I answer questions live. We have a lot of laughs. There's a lot of cool people in there, and we do have an in-game community called Smoke Break. Anybody is welcome to join. This is on the North American servers, and we have Discord channels as well. So just stop by the channel. Hop in, ask questions. If you enjoyed this video or you found it useful, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. We are going to be doing more Necromancer guides along with other seasonal guides and other things to help you through Season 11. I do also want to do one more shout out for all of my subscribers on the Twitch channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting me through this. This is what I do full time, stream on Twitch and do YouTube. So thank you guys so much. Good luck in the grifts, and if any of you guys have any more information on this build as it evolves, since it is brand new, throw some comments down below. I'd love to tweak it, try and make it better, find better ways to play it, and also update the guide with anything that I learn. So thank you guys so much. Peace.